Could we finally be seeing support and financial aid coming to the small farmer, the family-owned farm in our country that has long time been neglected or quietly absorbed into these massive agricultural conglomerates that are destroying the environment? I'm going to make the argument in this video that we definitely are, based on someone who is actually part of a grant program with the USDA right now. I'm a candidate for it. I'm going to share with you guys more information about this program that I am in and the money that is being allocated to it from our federal government, because believe it or not, the government, the federal government, and the state governments are aware that the average age of the American farmer is over 60 and that they are retiring, and that we do not have enough millennial and Gen Z farmers coming in to take their positions. From 2017 until 2022, we lost over 140,000 farms in this country. You can't blame these farmers. They work their butts off their whole life. By the time they're 65, they're exhausted. A lot of them have debts. These tractors cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when Wall Street shows up with a check, they say, you know what, I'm going to take it and get out, because otherwise I'm going to drown in my debt and eventually be physically unable to run my farm. In the past, younger people used to come in, work with the farmers, apprentice with them, take it over, or most times the farmers' children would take over the business, and in a lot of cases today, their kids don't want to. There are not enough farmers my age, and I'm 31, there are not enough people in their 30s or 20s that are interested in farming, which is why through the Farm Bill, more money than ever is being allocated into programs to incentivize people to get started farming, especially if you are a beginner farmer with zero prior farming experience. That's me. I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but I'm doing it day by day, and I'm learning it slowly but surely. That's one of the beauties of farming. There's no such thing as instant gratification. It's delayed gratification, and most of us don't want that anymore today. We want everything yesterday. We want it to come in a box through Amazon, and that's why the idea of farming to so many people seems foreign or intimidating. It seems too hard to get involved. I definitely felt intimidated to get started gardening at 31 years old, not knowing a thing about it, and I'm here to tell you, after doing it for only a couple months, it is something that other people can do. It is not rocket science. It just takes hard work. I had the USDA come to my property last month, and they will be returning this winter. They came to my property and let me know that I could be a candidate for the EQIP program. This program in recent years has been funded with more money than ever because it prioritizes beginner farmers, underserved communities, urban farming, and small farming. There is no acreage minimum to qualify for this grant program. So I have 6.74 acres of farmland here. I plan to work maybe 1 to 2 acres of it. I want to kind of be an example of farming of the future, that it doesn't have to look like a 100-acre estate anymore. It can be something that is done on 1 acre, can feed you and turn a profit at your farm stand. Call me crazy. Someone below will tell me I'm a faker because I don't own a tractor. I don't plan to till. I plan to do regenerative farming here, and the USDA has actually been helping me out, providing me with free handouts, education, and maps to make that happen. So they came here and told me I would qualify for their EQIP program. I went ahead, filled out the paperwork through the USDA. It was the NRCS branch of the USDA that came here to tell me that. Last year, the Farm Bill allocated $2 billion to be given out through this program. This year, they authorized $1.9 billion. And the USDA, when they came, let me know that they're going to be allocating that much, if not more, for 2025, because yes, the government is aware that not enough people are farming. Yes, does the government stink? Sure does. But you know what? They do understand mass starvation, because there's not a single person running a farm here, probably isn't the best thing in the entire world. So they are trying to do something about it. I looked on the New York State website, because I'm in New York State, and I found a blurb I'll put right here that kind of is along the same veins, hinting that starting in 2025, they are going to be releasing funds, grant money for people doing conservation or farming work as well at a small scale, and for beginner farmers. That's a huge priority that I'm seeing everywhere. So for these funds through the USDA, I did not have to have a single prior year of experience farming. I didn't have to prove that I know what I'm doing. I didn't have to prove anything. They're going to work with me to finalize what needs to be done to receive these funds. Not to get political in this video, because I'm sure this will make somebody upset. I'm just speaking about this very non-emotionally, but RFK has stated through the USDA he wants to prioritize small farms and family farms and boost them up with more funds starting in 2025, because he thinks the large, massive farms that are spraying all the pesticides, etc., on our food is what is causing the health crisis in America. So he has hinted through the USDA he would like to release even more funds for people basically doing what I'm doing right here. People who are coming out of left field with no prior farming experience, deciding to try and do something and create some food to feed the local community. quickly. Based on all these trends, the numbers, and the funds that are starting to be allocated, I do believe we are going to see a trend where more people are going to be propped up than ever before to get started farming. For the first time in recent memory, I think we're going to start seeing programs, grant programs, all of this stuff that's going to make it easier for people that come from a family with no prior farming experience to get involved with this. You guys can disagree with me down below if you want. I am going to put all the different studies and sources pop up next to my head in this video, but I do think we are going to start to see in 2025 a shift in farming for the first time in the last century, where we are going to see cohesive support for people who are actually trying to do this at a small scale and safeguard the environment, do it in a regenerative way, even if they don't know what they're doing. So when everyone says, oh, if you don't have 100 acres and a tractor, you're a fake, I think we're about to see a huge change in that. And a lot of these programs are also prioritizing urban farming and people getting involved with farming on roofs, on top of bus station roofs. You know, there's so much unused space, especially in urban centers. I've read a lot of books about this. There's so much unused space where we could start growing food and providing native plants and everything that species are needing, because everything's dying. Birds, pollinators, bees, everything in North America is declining at a rapid rate, and it's a huge problem. So I do think some part of the government is aware of that. I do think it has been made aware. It is brought to their attention, because when I met with the USDA, 3 different people here, they knew what I was talking about and they were ready to help me and encourage me. They spent 3 hours answering all my questions. I'm not sitting here saying the government is the solution to all of the problems under the sun. I'm just saying, based on my personal experience being in the EQIP program, there are funds and free help awaiting you through the government if you are willing to relax and just accept that, yes, they might actually be wanting to help you get started farming. Nobody's asked for my bank statements, nobody's asked for my tax returns, but remember, all of that information is still with the government anyway. If they wanted that on you, they would just look it up. So if the USDA asks you for your address, I promise you, the USDA already knows your address. Google already knows your address. Might be worth setting the paranoia aside just for a tiny bit to entertain the fact that there is a program in place that has billions of dollars allocated to it that has to be given out to people. I used to work for the state of New York many moons ago, many moons ago, before I kind of woke up to the waste that goes on in our government and knew, you know, I don't want to stay involved with this for that long. While I worked that job, the amount of free money sitting on the table, you have to understand they have to give it out if it's allocated to them via the government, via budgeting. They have to give that money out. So billions of dollars is sitting on the table just in this one program. I'm in it. I'm very curious to see what ends up happening for me in April when the decision is made. But in the meantime, I'm getting so much free help to get started as a beginner farmer. I do not feel lost or sad or confused. So if you have ever considered doing this, what I'm trying to say is I think now is the perfect time to do it. And I think next year, for the first time, we are going to see more support for people like you and me doing this than the massive corporate farms. I hope you guys like my t-shirt. I just donated my land in Florida to the threatened burrowing owl species through the Cape Coral Wildlife Trust. Amazing group of people. And I think we are at the dawn of an environmental renaissance, farming renaissance, that it has never been a more perfect time to get involved with this. That's why I come on here and yell about it. $24 trillion worth of farmland is about to be for sale in this country over the next 20 years. It's much better for the environment, for the animals, for our food, if people like you and I buy it and toil on it and figure out how to farm on it without people bullying us about it, because Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time to learn this stuff, but there's programs in place, free things like hoop houses, educational courses that are in place to make this easier for you. Do not be scared. If I can do this alone in my little owl shirt, I'm a small female, you can do it too. Bye.